from this team. We will not get to see them again here on Erangel. We'll be heading down towards Novo right now, but I want to see a change from that team. I think that's the one that, like, things are just not happening as we imagine them to.
I want to talk a little bit about Pubg and 628 as well, right? Because sure there's those teams at the bottom that haven't had those points yet, but they've only played 2 games, right? They've still got 6 games left to play. Pubg and 628, they played 4 games, and they are still only about 10 points clear of those teams at the bottom, right? They are really very much at risk of not qualifying for this next Super Weekend if things continue the way they are. 628, they're going to be heading out to the west. No surprises there. Probably going to go down towards Primorsk, but they might stop off just a little bit short given where the circle is as well. Genesis Dogma, they're a little bit further down. Back to their old tricks near Milta.
Yeah, I mean, for Stalwart, this is a bit of an awkward playing path, and I think it's one thing they always have to consider, which is when they get this playing path, which vehicles do they go for, and how do we go about acquiring those vehicles? Because I think there's been a few times where they've taken casualties early on in the game versus Genesis Dogma down towards Milta, purely because of Genesis Dogma being able to find them and take shots towards them. So this time they're a bit more sneaky about it, and they're actually able to get across fairly easily. The Infinity, on the other hand, no Sosnovka this time for them. They headed and took North George. So an interesting change to the game here. And I'm very curious to see how the Infinity play out their match from North George. I think this is maybe one of the first times we've seen it that I can recall. But yeah, this is going to be interesting stuff.
A change-up. I am pretty excited about it. I mean, the playing path, sure, but yeah, you're right. It's a big change-up. I am excited. You've got me excited, Blank.
I'm sorry. That's what I do.
That's never happened before.
So, I mean, the Infinity, let's take a look at their rotational paths that they can take here, because obviously at some point they're going to have to move down towards Box Compound. FaZe Clan, we know that they like to head up towards the top of Everest and look out from there. So I'm wondering whether they'll, in fact, even try and challenge FaZe Clan off that position, or just go for something much more standard and go up that north coastal side. Again, it all remains to be seen. This is an awkward way to drive around. You are so exposed in that thing. Luckily for them, they're heading down towards Ferry Pier, our reject, which is a standard place to be. I don't think there's a lot of teams in this area that's going to take shots on them this early on.
I'm waiting to see what Stalwart do on their maneuvers, right? They've got to cross that bridge. Genesis Dogma and Bigatron in their way. Tough time, tough time. But you know what? Tough time never lasts.
Okay, it's like some weird proverb you've come up with. Tough time,
that's all right.
Never last. Okay, thank you, John. So I'll put you back on the side of the street now.
If you didn't understand the reference, it's very niche, but we'll go with it.
I'm pretty sure it's from a movie, but I'm not giving you the benefit of the doubt.
No, it's not. It's from like
I'm pretty sure.
It's from a niche vine. I'll give you that much.
Oh wow, okay. The niche vine. Okay. This man's coming from 1968 right now. Okay. I understand. I see how it is. BC Swell over towards Milta Power at the moment. It's sad because I don't really want to even focus on BC Swell. I think it's kind of over for them. It's a sad time. I've set up even like a little candle over here, John, you know, just to, you know, memorialize their passing from the PUBG.
Don't be, oh, come on. Don't be like that.
I'm sorry.
They can still do it. I'd say
And you really believe that?
Yeah, of course.
Wow. At least one of us has to, right? One of us has to go against all odds and go for that 0.01% play. That's fair enough.
Never tell them the odds.
Never tell them the odds. I just told them the odds. I'm so sorry.
Dear. Come on. That was actually quite mean. You told them the odds?
It was mean.
They didn't want you to tell them the odds.
No.
But odds on, you're probably right. BC Swell really struggling in this tournament at the moment. Playing from the east side right now, a little bit further south than Team Secret, who we're on board with at the moment, who remember last time around that this circle dropped on out, they kind of just got shut out on the northeastern side. It wasn't too easy for them to play from this position.
No, and now it's even harder with MS Chumbury as well as BC Swell and also DRS in the mix. Like this Eastern push is going to be difficult for them. So, as far as Team Secret, which I'm not, but I'm pretending this situation because I'm a great actor.
Okay.
I would imagine that they're going to head over towards Severny side and head down towards Tongjiabao's position. I think heading over the north coast is probably best for you here, considering the circle is so centered up towards that north side of the map. Like there's not too many problems that come with heading towards Severny and down through shooting range and trying to find a position there. We know how much success they've had with that rotation before, so I'm curious to see if they'll go for it again. Again, I've been wrong a lot of times today about rotations, but I'm happy to see it. It means teams are making changes and teams are going for something different, which is what you need to do in these final league plays. This is our final league play of the PMGC. You need to make these adjustments if you want to make it in. Sometimes teams get so used to your rotations that they can easily guess what you're going to do next.
I feel like Mello was thinking about trying to set up a roadblock on the position. On the east end of North George Pole. But then again, who's going to be rotating all the way through there? I mean, you know, there's no one else moving through. I'm not entirely sure.
Oh, I think John's crashed again. Unlucky ducky. We will see what happens anyway. Maybe he'll be back. Maybe he won't. Who knows?
Am I back?
I don't know. I'm going to keep speaking for the next 10 seconds or so, and then we'll see if you're back or not. But okay, that's fine. Genesis Dogma, you know, rocking up towards BC Swell's position. They're just to the east side of Rozhok for the time being. MS Chumbury as well as DRS no longer prolonging that fight in Yasnaya and going their separate ways. DRS heading towards the north side and MS Chumbury over to that western bridge of Yaz. So honestly, both rotations fairly viable. They do lock out Team Secret a little bit, considering they haven't made this early rotation.
Sorry, I'm just getting reset up after I crashed on out. But okay, right, we're on board with MS Chumbury. This is the north side of the river, and these positions I feel like should be all right. All right, Blank. I mean, you've got Tongjiabao who moved down from Severny early, and they're now guarding around the other side of the river from Rozhok.
Yes, they're both teams not in the worst location. I think for Tongjiabao, this is a position they need to hold on to now. There's going to be a lot of teams coming their way. DRS, MS Chumbury, as well as Team Secret in that little lineup they've got going on, the Conga. So Tongjiabao, you know, sometimes they have had difficulties holding on to compounds. I think their compound holds have been just a little bit stymied a few times. So this is something that needs to be altered. And like you said, they're in a dangerous and precarious position towards the bottom of the leaderboard. So having a spot like this, which is very central, you want to hold on to this for as long as possible. I do think they've been fairly unlucky. Even just that Pachinki finish earlier today where they were on the eastern side of the fields. And then suddenly they get a massive east shift and they have to move out from that fantastic compound that they were able to secure early. It's really awkward for them. So I would be sad to see something like that happen to them again.
628 on the western side near the Gatka fields at the moment. The circle shifts southwest, so most likely the crossings from the north will have to come through, Blank, and those rotations will start to actually come in. Faze and the Infinity both moving towards Everest positions, potentially a clash on the northwest coming through. The Stalwart have yet to leave the blue on the southeast side after having crossed from Novo.
Yeah, it's been a long time that they've been out in the blue for the time being. I think that, you know, that is a case of having to wait it out. The Infinity didn't make the same mistake, I would say, in their game, where they just moved across after a certain amount of time, understanding that Genesis Dogma are most likely going to make their way into the circle. They take the upward side of Potato Hill a fair few times. They don't hang around farm as well as that east bridge. So Stalwart can get through there fairly comfortably. And I think this time they have anticipated too much instead of like looking at what's happened before. Again, though, I'm not sure how much access these guys have to the map feed, so a little bit difficult. I think for the Infinity, they definitely have identified something, though.
Yeah, it's a little scrap around the foothills of Everest. I mean, they both rotated from pretty similar positions coming on through. You can see now Infinity in the foothills, trying to play those ridge lines. Faze a little bit further out towards those Gatka fields. But I feel like Everest is a pretty decent spot in this scenario. You know there's not going to be a lot of teams coming in from North George. You were the North George team. Not a lot of teams going to be out southwest because, well, the plane path didn't really allow for that too much, and the teams that do go that way tend to go a little bit more central directly. So it's fairly safe for the Infinity up there.
Yeah, and I like this play as well, because you know I mentioned they might be going to box compound earlier on, or they might challenge Faze out for Everest. They don't do either of those things. They wait for Faze to move further into the circle down towards that bottom compound of Everest, and then take Everest itself. So it's a really smart move, and it limits the amount of engagements they have to take earlier on in the game. So it's slow but steady. And for the Infinity now, they're in a fairly playable position. I think that's where the Infinity shines. I think fair few times, starting from Sosnovka, they don't have the best starts to their games, purely because they get locked out or they're getting shot by other teams as they come in. But the Infinity, once they get it set up, they're a fantastic team and a very scary team, to say the least. So I would say that this might be an Infinity top 5 game, like just off the bat right now with this position they currently hold.
Ooh, that's bold. That's a bold prediction. But you know what? I'm here for it. I like it. I'm a fan.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You know,
MS
I think Jason will be happy with it too.
Wait, too bad. Can you imagine if this game Infinity win and he hasn't predicted them for once in his life?
Yeah.
You know?
It would be sad. It'd be very, very sad.
I would enjoy that.
I would enjoy it too. I would enjoy it too, 100%. You know, he jumped off the hype train, jumped on the Nigma train, and honestly, I'm disappointed.
Well, Nigma Galaxy do have a fairly solid position in Pachinki, in a fairly central part of the circle, as it pops out to the east as well. So they get an edge circle position that they can hold until the next shrink, and they can be the headstone, the spit that breaks the waves from that south side.
Exactly, John. I think Nigma Galaxy have had a lot of success down towards Pachinki quite a few times within the entirety of the PMGC East League. I think that if there's any team that can do it and has the comfortability to do it as well, it is Nigma Galaxy. They've played this position so much now that if they're making mistakes, it's on their backs rather than anyone else's.
Order on the deck after standing pretty tall for Nova last game. They want a repeat performance. Still got Paraboy alive as well. What a spray down. I don't think that can't have been all entirely him. It was. Goodness me. Order just takes 2 out of a buggy like nothing. And those flushes are coming through as well. Defeats pouring in for Nova, but Genesis Dogma have spotted Order. They'll back him off the ridgeline.
And this is exactly it. We want to see Order step up. Now just 2 players from 4 rivals who have been having a fairly rough day. One finds a shot through, but Nova's also chiming into this fight. 6-8, take another. Penumbra managed to make something happen. Nade over the top side. This could be good, but BC Swell off in the distance.
This is why we call it Headshot Hills, Blank. I mean, just the number of times you were completely out in the open whilst trying to cross this. Those heads look mighty poppable. Nades pouring over the top. Mbura looks for more towards 33Z as well to suppress, just get some damage, get another defeat on board, get some more points for the 4 rivals. And secure themselves in. They're 26, so they're not out of the woods just yet. Mbura just break through the smoke, but Sunown swings out and his lickety split job done.
Yeah, guess why? Pembura, sorry, gets a very, very nice little spray down and a good nade over the top side to hit 33Z. Sadly, he is all on his own some. So honestly, for 4 rivals, it's not been going great. Currently in this league place at 26 points, which is a very, very big turn of events for us for 4 rivals, considering we know how strong they are. Yes, they don't get those chicken dinners, but they're a team that likely makes their way into that top 5. So far, I think that's the 2nd time we see them get a double knock spray down whilst rotating, which is really bad.
Not ideal. Not ideal, but there's still a couple more games for them left to play. Eject, they're also taking pretty heavy fire from the north side from MS Chamburi. All of these positions pretty much spotted out. Dweller moves forwards, wants to get this res. Reiji on forward position after the knock, but gonna be difficult to make that break. The Infinity, by the way, in the meantime, they swung all the way down to the south. Look at their position now. They're holding those longhouses. Bigatron and Stalwart out to their east as the circle pops down there as well.
Yeah, this gives them a lot of chance, and this was a difficult rotation to make and one that was very smart. It gets them closer towards the circle. Luckily, finally, one of them favors the Infinity here, and they can start to make a break out. They will have to deal with Stalwart as well as Bigatron off towards that east side, but with Potato Hill being staged the way it is, there is a lot of chance for them to get into a position and hold it and wait this one out.
to claim their position. Manhan taken down on the forefront push. Tony K. Does he know that Bamboo's in the building? He certainly does now. Should have caught a glimpse of the shoulder, and MR5 is right up and on board to deal with business here. Bamboo getting pushed back behind the door. MR5 low, but look at that excellent flank coming through from Tony K. They hold the back door as MR5 backs him off. Excellent play there coming through from FaZe, coordinated.
Yeah, this is exactly what you want to see from FaZe, is that they have each other's backs, and I think that FaZe is one of these teams where, yeah, they didn't have the greatest start of it, but I think throughout the entire tournament, you can't say that this team hasn't worked together phenomenally as a team. Like, it really does feel like they have each other's off angles, they get some really good crosses in, and FaZe are playing well because of it. Nova now starting to make their way over to the Infinity. The Infinity should have spotted them as they're making this rotate, but they swing on past all the way up towards Potato Hill. I don't think the Infinity even hit one shot onto them.
Do they need to is the question. Are they just trying to get ahead? I mean, we'll have to wait and see how that all pans out. Team Secret. Oh, this is going to be difficult. Yeah, there's no way you get away with this. If you've got Tudor loves... oh, he's on the swivel as well. He's taking down eye shots. Look at this. The UMP doing wonders, and it's FaZe to put the final nail in the coffin. The defeats pour on in, and Deadeye's guys rack up a healthy point total.
Yeah, very well played to Turu Luvsa. Honestly, really, really good shots coming through from him on a swivel, on a dime, and that's the power that Rozhok Hill provides you. Having that little outpost on the top of the stairs as well, great position to be, and just completely rips apart Team Secret, who, by all accounts, have been having a really, really bad first day of their league play.
6-2-8. We just saw them come up in the kill feed. They're one of the teams that actually has the lowest points total, coming in with 4 games played. I mean, they aren't having the best of times, as well as Tongjiabao, who really started to struggle, apparently, this week play. But Enigma Galaxy, their handling order, they send him up 86th from the game.
I don't know where Nova's going, honestly. They're all over the shop right now, and no one seems to be able to find them. Other than a lot of the teams that they fly past. It's just a case of they take shots, then they hide, then they take shots, and then they hide. And Nova's being completely torn apart because of it, and not really getting anything done. Nothing's going in that shopping basket.
Getting little tickle, but somehow Nova all right. Tongjiabao going down here again. Not great. 2 points. They were sat just before this game. On, I believe, I don't know if I have the right weeks up. I'll have to redo my stats. But they were sat, yeah, okay. So they were sat down towards 15 points, the lowest placed team with 4 games played so far. This is going to allow Stalwart, allow DRS and Team Secret, well, not Team Secret, unfortunately, this game, but DRS and Stalwart to really start to put the pace up towards Tongjiabao's totals.
I think Tongjiabao's mid-game rotations are very weak. Their initial rotation, very strong, getting into a good position within the circle, but then if anything doesn't favor them, Tongjiabao tend to crumble. And it really is croissant vibes where, you know, they just keel over, and it's a bad time overall for Tongjiabao. So I need to see those mid-game rotations change tomorrow at least, because so far it has not been good. I think that they need to figure out how they want to make these rotations, whereabouts people are playing in the lobby, where the safest places to go are. So far, you know, getting that first initial spot, it's not enough if you're not being favored by that circle.
You want them to emulate the Komodo Dragon, Puppet Master, Shrek Swamp, having Genesis Dogma. That's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I need. I need the rotational maestros from Genesis Dogma to teach them a few tricks.
There's another one. That's 4. We're going to keep racking them on up. But on the southeast side, Biggitron coming into conflict with Reject. We saw a couple of those fights go on. Still, Biggitron have 2 players alive, but they are not out of the woods. I mean, they, again, only have 2 games played before this one, so they do have more opportunity in their future. But they're not having the best of times so far. Deadeye's guys eliminated as well. 3 points only on this game.
I mean, it's still points being put up. Reject, though, very close to Biggitron. I don't even think Ryzen knows that Divine's right behind him.
Ooh,
okay.
He's gonna know about it. He's got to. He's got to be prescient. But the question is, do Reject know about his position? I feel like Ryzen might just be biding the time. He's waiting for more people to peek out. Look at this. I mean, obviously he knows. The question is when. Looks for
he
more.
strike?
Oh my god! You can't be getting away with that. Divine just demolishes Ryzen in the shack, and Biggitron eliminated almost immediately off the back of it. Reject now have to push through 3 teams right in front of them, so they're not having a good time right now. The Infinity, Nick the Galaxy, you've got MS Chonburi all in the way.
Yeah, Pika hits a big fat negative towards DRS. Rundown comes through as well to MS Chonburi, but Reject still alive, but barely at that.
Not quite having the best of times there, I think. They might have just been going down. No one's alive, maybe. Perhaps it's all chaos on the south side push. But it's all going to be too much for them. Reject fall finally. The southeast side still jam-packed chocker up the hill.
DRS remain cursed. This is a bad time. I think for DRS, you know, these rotations come through, but they get locked in combat with Team Secret early on, locked in combat with MS Chonburi, and then these rotations just start to fail, start to fluster. Infinity looking really good though, honestly. Enigma Galaxy taking shots from them as well at this point in time. And we're getting close to that top 5, John.
Ooh. I mean, that's what you called at the start, wasn't it? The Infinity top 5. It looks good for you on that front, and good for them as well to be able to keep on racking up those points, keep towards the top of those tables in those super weekends. Not that it should matter too much, really. Genesis Dogma, again, somehow find themselves on the broad side of this next level.
I mean, this is a big rotation from Genesis Dogma as well. They went from all the way on that Milta side down to the west. So a very nice rotation from Genesis Dogma. Again, it's all about putting themselves out of harm's way. And with that circle, they understand there's going to be a lot of teams on the east now, because with the grouping, they're not able to clear out just a couple of teams on that east side becomes free. So they know they need to move over to that west side. So Genesis Dogma, again, another smart play that comes through them, determined by what's going on in the lobby. Stalwart, a little bit more worse for wear now on that eastern side. They still can make a run through. The Infinity taking 1 knock, but Logan's going to go pick up Newsy, wanting that 4-man power coming into those final circles.
Well, they've already lost 1. I mean, they want to emulate it as best they can. On 3. Stalwart, the only team with 4 alive, but they are having troubles of their own. Phase hitting them on the broad. Action tries to stand up, and it looks good for Pika to get the spray down as well. Action has to hit the deck, and Scry is resable. Pika makes the mad dash cross, dodges around, tries to stay alive as Action heals up as well. More smoke being poured on, but
I like
they want to finish this fight. They want to crash onto it. They take this opportunity to move through and move fast. Action is back to a fightable amount of HP, but his teammates not so lucky. Last player really standing for Stalwart, and you can't do too much more here. ML5 around the tree, caught with nade in hand, but the Molotov burns close, and he is going to get felled. ML5 goes down, but Action goes a little bit lower. Finally, the spray comes through, but Faze suffer heavy casualty.
It's very classic Faze, though, again, where they're pairing up as teams, crunching teams together. The Infinity in a bit of an awkward spot now versus Genesis Dogma along the way, who are completely clear of any other players. BC Swell really the only ones that could cause some problems for Genesis Dogma, but as only 2, and with their track record, I'm not so sure how likely that is.
Fine, spotted 1, and with the suppressor, she's going to get these spray downs as well. Really nice for Corpite. 9 defeats already. He's looking for more. BC Swell. I mean, okay, what do you do against that? Go down in 5th though, which is pretty good for BC Swell. And the top 5 dream for Infinity is even better.
God Tunny takes a fair bit of damage and will be taken down by Genesis Dogma themselves. But this next circle, it doesn't really favor the guys from Infinity. Newsy needs to get a knock, and he needs to get it now, but Snickle just gets out of the way, but Satar with a ridiculous shot from along the way will pick up Newsy, and now Logan's forced to the edge of the circle.
And the position is completely known, Blank. Infinity struggling behind this tree with the blue zone pushing. Logan, I don't even know if you go for this res, I'll be honest. Newsy going down by the play zone again. They try and make this push, but Genesis Dogma have it on lock. This team is brutally efficient, Blank.
Yeah, absolutely so. And again, it's all down to that rotation and manipulating where other teams are in the lobby. This western side of the map, so strong for them, and such a good understanding of the players they're going up against. Yes, the Infinity, a bit of a wild card for them in this situation, though. I don't think they were expecting them to come down from North George. They deal with it regardless. Lord now, last man standing for Nigma Galaxy, but Satar's coming in hot.
Oh, he's rolling them down, and Lord first up for the...
How is he not dead?
Block. He rolled under the tires there, but Nikhil goes down. Satar preoccupied and up the hill. Daybot in trouble now. The Groza getting the reload, but no, there's the swap. Needs to get a reload off now, but Lord pushes in, keeps that ridgeline suppressed. Satar more worried about down the hill. Corpy might just turn his attention up. But these fights have been split in half, Blank.
There's no way that Lord got underneath that vehicle somehow. I mean, he must have like suddenly made himself as flat as a pancake to be able to get under the car. Daybot extremely low with the Groza in hand, quickly switches, but it's not enough, and Daybot somehow survives, some way, literally bleeding out as he goes.
But now it's possible for Corpy to stand up. Satar goes down, and now I think it's a 1 versus 1, Blank, if I'm not mistaken. No, Daybot's still alive, as you say, behind that buggy. He knows there's a player up the hill. He knows where the other players were fighting. Has only bandages to right, but he's going to go in the buggy himself. He's going to reposition. He should spot Daybot. Looking for the rundown, but no, the tires aren't good. Sends behind the tree, and he is taken down at the last possible moment. It's Genesis Dogma to stay alive. It looks